Here we see a famous autograph and an equally famous signature. My name is Kyte. I'm a Melbourne writer, filmmaker, and flâneur. I am the author of the Melbourne Flâneur and the Spleen of Melbourne, prose, poetry, and fiction. And today it is my very great honor and privilege to introduce you to my next book, a collection of translations of the poetry, the prose poetry, and the fiction of Charles Baudelaire, entitled Maledictions, Blasphemies, Laments, selections from Toxic Blossoms and Parisian Spleen. And here is the cover of the hardcover edition that I have designed for this book. So this is the dust jacket of the hardcover edition of the book, which will be published in June of this year. And it's going to be published as volume number 2 in the Melbourne edition of my collected works. Volume number 1 is going to come out next year, but I thought it would be more politically apposite to put out this volume of Baudelaire's works first. My name online has become synonymous with the translation and interpretation of Baudelaire's works, and it's been long overdue that I publish a new, revised, dramatically expanded version of the earlier book, Flowers, Red and Black, which I published in 2013. So, Maledictions, Blasphemies, Laments will include fully 1/5 of the total poems that feature in the 3 editions of Les Fleurs that were published both in Baudelaire's lifetime and shortly afterwards by his mother. So there's 32 poems in total, including one of the censored poems that was struck from the first edition and was subsequently only published in Belgium among Les Épaves. There's also going to be a quarter of the prose poems from Spleen de Paris, plus the dedication to Arsène Houssaye and the poetic epilogue that Baudelaire includes at the end of that work. And I've also taken it upon myself to translate the only known work of fiction by Baudelaire, Fanfarlo, quite a substantial short story, some 11,000 words in the original French, and I'm working on that at the moment. So I'll take you through the blurb here for the hardcover edition. So modernity begins in 19th century Paris with the French poet Charles Baudelaire. At the outset of the scientific age, his Toxic Blossoms, Les Fleurs du Mal, 1857, dramatically charts the modern poet's tragic journey from Catholic faith to satanic revolt. In Maledictions, Blasphemies, Laments, Kyte presents an abridgment of the tragedy in Toxic Blossoms. A specialist in modern French literature and Baudelaire's poetry, he has selected and translated 30 poems that give 21st century readers, fresh to this prophet of our times, a representative introduction to Baudelaire's philosophy and his proto-noir themes and symbols. Fleshing out the background to the verse, Kyte has selected and translated a quarter of Baudelaire's little poems in prose from Parisian Spleen, Spleen de Paris, 1869. Here we meet Baudelaire, the dandy flâneur behind the poet of Toxic Blossoms, an ironic protagonist in the urban landscape of Second Empire Paris, pursuing flâneries in quest of love and novelty. Scrolling down a little, bridging verse and prose, Kyte includes a bonus new translation of Baudelaire's only short story, Fanfarlo, Fanfarlo, 1847, a fictionalized account of his affair with Creole actress Jeanne Duval, the Black Venus, who, as fatal muse, is a recurring presence in both poems and prose poems. With a critical monograph on Baudelaire's life, work, and world, and a list of further readings recommended by Kyte, For many readers, this handsome volume featuring classic illustrations by Carlos Schwab will serve as an illuminating introduction to Charles Baudelaire. So this book is proceeding at a great rate of knots, and it is due to be published in June. If you would like to register your interest in purchasing a copy when it is available for sale, I recommend that you go to my website, deankyte.com. Here on the welcome page, you will find a sign-up form. It simply requires your name and email address, and I will put you on the mailing list to be advised when it is available for sale. If you click on the front cover of the book here, this will take you to a internal page which will tell you a little bit more about the project and also has a sign-up form at the bottom.